Hi, I'm Justin from Crane Mountain Gaming, and I'd like to give you a little technical demo of the proof of concept version of the game engine that I've been working on. This is called Sketchy Tactics, and as it clearly states, it's a tactical MMORPG. This is based on my kind of early love of Final Fantasy Tactics, similar genre, and some hat tips to kind of the Dofus game and something that I very much enjoy. So I've always had this in the back of my mind, and this is my COVID-19 project. The code base for this started with the first GitHub repo creation on March 17. I've been working on this nights and weekends during the lockdown. So just kind of want to show you where we are now as like a little preview of how this is coming together. Couple caveats here. This is really just kind of gameplay and core mechanics. There's essentially no art, there's no animation, no sound, no music, none of that stuff. This is really all just the technical development piece. So you'll see a bunch of stick figures, placeholder art from our prior games. You know, bear with us on that. All right. And lockdown involves a lot of conference calls, so my throat is sore and I'm going to drink tea. Alright, so starting out here, we have a couple different classes implemented, and light them up with the power of math. So the current classes are the Geomancer, which is kind of a control mage, Mathematician, sort of your DPS mage, Librarians is support, Tactician is really about manipulating the battlefield, and the Mercenary is your I like to hit things with sharp sticks kind of class. So, and they have different kind of stat preferences and how they scale and that sort of thing. We'll get into that in a future video in much more detail. We're going to start with a Mathematician here. The character creation, there's no login sequence right now. It's very straightforward. So we're just going with character creation. So we're going to create maths. Now, and it's connecting. This is a multiplayer online game. I'm going to play it through single player here, but the multiplayer is fully functional. It's just too much to operate two clients at once, so I'll do a separate video on that just so you can see the kind of controls. As I said, no art assets, but we have our basic pathfinding around a grid. These elements are dynamically determining walkability based on their tags and so on. So the scene, the general concept for the game is the whole game takes place in a sketchbook when you're supposed to be paying attention to class. So you see a lot of like handwriting theme and sketch themes and that kind of stuff. We're going to go for kind of charcoal stick figure designs with some details, and this is all that placeholder art. So we can move around the maps right now. We are at the center of the world at 0, 0. It's a very small world right now, but we can move across waypoints to go to different zones, and players can obviously follow each other between zones and interact and all that kind of stuff. So now we're at 0, 1, which is just north of where we started, and we have two NPCs here, Bob and Weave. So that's like basic motion and getting around, and essentially all we have to do to expand the world is continue to add zones based on the coordinates and connect them by waypoints, so it's pretty expandable. I'm going to talk to Weave here, and he says, hey there, Inkstain. So we've been assigned a quest called Carry On. This is our basic quest tracker here. We need to talk to Weave again after reaching level 2. So he says, why don't you come talk to me when we're stronger? We'll do that. We've got Bob here. Where has all the color gone? May not even know about ink. So color and ink and everything is a big theme in the game so far. We have a character sheet, very basic character sheet right now. We are Maths, the Mathematician, level 1, no experience. These are our basic stats. These will have impact in combat. And let's see what else. We have an inventory here, and we should equip a sword. Right now, the only two inventory slots, we have a weapon slot and a backpack slot. So no armor yet. We may encounter a few other items. we're going to go ahead and equip this wooden sword. So stick with honed edges. Requires level 1, which we meet. 2 to 4 neutral damage. Has some crit stats, damage average. Per attack, it is increasing our initiative. So we see our initiative went up by 1. And this is the ink, that's the sort of item value, basically. So we need to get to level 2 to complete our quest, which means we are going to fight this enemy. Now, right now, there's just one fight at a time, because we haven't built the server for this, but we jump in a fight. During this countdown, other players can join the fight, and they'll be set in one of the other viable starting zones. Once the countdown completes, the fight is locked and no one else can join. This is the turn order based on initiative, so again, a lot of placeholder art here. We have 3 movement, you can see. We can move 3 spaces. And we have 4 actions per turn, and we're at 10 of 10 health. We have 2 enemies here, 2 TP tanks. Now, there's a couple different kinds of enemies, and the different enemies have different AI. We lucked out in this fight. They're basically both going to block, so it's just randomly picking from all the different enemy types right now. Some combinations are essentially unbeatable, and some combinations are very easy to beat. So these guys are just going to teleport to us and basically be an annoyance and get in our way. But since there's 2 of them and they're just getting in our way, we're just going to stand there and wail on them, which is perfect for the demo. And we'll probably see some other combinations here in a bit. The other thing you'll note is these objects carried over from the other map, and because they are not walkable, it is rendering a fight grid based on the obstructions. So if we fill things up with buildings and trees and so on, the fight grid is actually going to calculate based on what of those are purely cosmetic versus walkability obstructions. So, let's see, our movement is decrementing. So we'll just move right here, and I'm going to use spacebar to pass my turn, and then, oh, we're getting blinked on. So they basically just used full move teleport abilities to jump onto us. And there will be an action selection thing here right now, but I'm using keyboard shortcuts. Because we're level 1 and don't have any abilities yet, we're just going to attack people, so I'm pressing a button to put it in attack mode, which the sword is range 1, so we can attack an adjacent square. There's a little bit of a clipping issue there, not important for right now. We can see what these enemy stats are by hovering them. We just wailed on that guy, and should be pretty easy to kill. Oh, nope, I lied. We're getting headbutted. We finished that one off, and now we just have to hope we don't get one shot here. Alright. We might die, which is fine. Yeah, we're going to get KO'd. Huh! Defeated. So we've been knocked out, we lost the fight. If there are multiple players, then obviously the whole team has to get KO'd before the fight ends. So that's kind of how the fights work. And I'll show you some of the different weapon types here. We'll see if we can get an easier to beat enemy combo. So Bob has a shop now, Bob's pawn. And what do we want to buy here? Let's get the staff. So we're actually going to equip the staff instead. Boom, boom, boom. And we'll go try another fight. So I'll show you a little bit more of the features here. And then we'll cut the video to when we've leveled up and do other cool stuff. Alright, we have a tank and a kite here. So we're going to get out of range of this guy. Stay far away from the kite as possible. Because we have a staff now, we can actually select a square and it attacks everything around it. This hover isn't working exactly the way we want it to. So that guy has 2 health left. That guy has 5 health left. So, with any luck, should be dead. And this guy's gonna path towards us. Oh yeah, can't turn the hover off on our turn. So we're just gonna try and stay out of their range. It's too smart, so we're going to have to let him spit on us. Boom. So he moved in. He's a kite, so he's kiting away from us, unsurprisingly. So he's going to spit and run, but we got a good combo this time. Defeated. We have earned 2 ink. We gained 1,000 XP. That's 500 per monster. We leveled up, and we got our first ability. So, oh, and we dropped a round uncut garnet. So this is a stackable resource, which just exists for sell value now. So we've leveled up. We need 1,500, which, if you've done the math, means 2 more fights to get to the next level. But we do have a stat point here, and I happen to know that the spell we unlocked scales off of the yellow stat. So these stats are themed on colors. I'll do a separate video on the relevance of colors to the game and what this color scale is based on, the use of color theory and all that in the story. But color is very important, and there's not much of it right now except for these flukes because they're placeholder art. So we're going to increase our yellow, the color of electricity, speed, and ambition. So crit chance and electricity damage exist right now. Dodge rolls haven't been implemented yet. We're going to up our yellow, so we spent our stat point. Yellow has increased. And let's see, we're level 2 now, so we should go talk to Weave again. It says, lookin' buff and inky, have a bindle. So we completed the quest. It is now in our completed quests, carry on. And we should have received a ratty bindle, which is our first backpack. Oh, but we don't meet the requirements because we aren't level 3 yet. But that's going to increase our carry capacity, which is going to expand our inventory space. So now we need to go get level 3. So there's the staff. So it's only 1 to 4 damage, but it has that multi-hit. And that one's 2 to 4, so it's a little bit stronger. So actually just switch to the sword for now. And we'll show you our ability. This pathing's a little wonky right now. And we're going to go fight some more enemies and hope we don't get a horrendous combo. We've gained health because we leveled up, we gained initiative, but the enemies have gotten stronger too. So let's see what we get here. Alright, kite and tank again. We're in luck. So their health went up, their initiative went up a little bit too, and the tank scaled green stat, and the kite scaled red stat. So we're actually going to go after the tank first. And I'm going to use our first ability here. This is a wild targeting, but the mathematician actually uses math to target. So in this case, we are able to use this spell to hit anything in a prime number based square. So we're going to fire that off, hit tank 2 with prime static electricity for 3 damage. That's kind of how that works. And we're going to pass the turn here. Now I won't be able to use this on my next turn. Oh, he actually buffed his AP. I won't be able to use it this turn because it is on cooldown for 2 more turns. So we're just going to close the distance with this tank. And since I know their movement range is 3, I'm not giving them a free extra attack. I'm going to get on the other side of them and wail on him. So he should just stand there and headbutt us. So it's taking additional attacks this time. Boom. Headbutt. And oh no, we rolled low. We're going to get hit one more time. Should be an easy fight though. Headbutt. So we got headbutt twice there because this guy buffed his action points. So now we need to chase down the kite. And that'll take a little bit. And he's not in a prime number square yet. We can hit ourselves and teammates with that, which is what makes it tricky to use. And nope. Closing the gap here. Tactical gameplay at its finest. Couple more hits on this guy. Level up again. Boom. Very exciting. Oh, we dropped another round garnet, so we should actually see that stack. Alright, so we're almost to level 3, but that's not going to happen in this video. And we have 2 stacks of the garnet. We can actually split the stacks, and we can combine them again, but it only works one direction. I haven't quite figured that out yet. We're not level 3, so we still can't equip the bindle. You'll just have to take my word for it, if we equip that, our 4 slots, because of the extra 4 capacity, will go up to 8. And I'm going to put the staff back on again, because I'm a big fan of the staff. And so, quick recap. How's that been working out for you? We have a state-based dialogue engine, so you can see actually what they say changes based on your progress in the game, and that's because we've completed his quest. We have a quest system that gives you a quest tracker, assigns, provides item rewards, XP rewards. There's all kinds of rewards that can be doled out from that. The NPCs can have conversations, they can have shops, they have different dialogue trees depending on which way you go. We have our whole map-based coordinate system. We've got our movement and pathfinding down. We have our cosmetic and walkable obstructions. We have a combat system. We have leveling up. We have everybody's favorite inventory management with the equip and unequip, drag and drop, stack splitting, stack combining for stackables. We have a spell system. We have AI for all the enemies, stats and scaling. Quite a bit of stuff in here for less than a month of night and weekend work, I would say. What am I forgetting? Let's see if we can see a little bit more AI in here. The enemies are randomly assigned, so I could have gamed it for the video, but that's cheating. Alright, what do we get? Alright, we got a TP tank and a jumper. So the jumper just wants to close the distance, and the TP tank just wants to body block right now. So we are going to blast that guy. And TP tank's going to blink in, this guy's going to jump and pounce. And in this case, because we're using the staff, we can actually hit him like that. And we're going to try to set up, there we go. Set up a sweet double hit. That's why I love the staff. Lower damage, but hits like a truck when you can set it up. We just need to pound on these guys without getting killed. There we go. The level up says the wrong number, I think. I think it undercounts by 1. Yeah, because we're level 3 now. Now we don't get a new spell yet, but so that's kind of the engine. I'm going to bop out here. The different classes all get different spells, as I said. So the Mathematician has that prime static electricity, and Geomancer, crowd control. As I said, Librarian has a buff, I think? I think it's a healing spell. Yes, ally healing spell right now. Tactician can push and pull enemies, and the Mercenary has a cooldown-based short-range damage nuke. So, depending on the combinations of enemies right now, it's all pretty basic. Different combinations of players here can take on pretty large groups if you play it correctly. Something for everyone's style. So yeah, there you go.